Mike Tyson fight helped them beat these numbers, right? There's no doubt.
Where are we going? So we're gonna take a nice trip to South Jersey. South Jersey. Might be taking Power Build out of state. We'll see. We'll also talk about in this video why I'm going, even though it's not my number one target on the list as far as locations. Keeping my number one target secret until we're a little further along, but we're going to talk about why it's just good to visit more spaces. It's always good to see options. It's also good to get to know certain areas. It's good to just even talk to whoever's on the other side of the deal. You never know, if this deal doesn't work, maybe another deal pops up on their desk and they think about PWRBLD Gym. So that's probably one of the big things I've learned over my time, doing the whole PWRBLD Gym and just business in general, is I always try to take meetings with people who are also doing things, within the business world, especially the gym world, but, just business in general, because you never know where those contacts may lead you down the road. So it's always good to network. Gotta network. I think you hear it a lot online, but I feel like most people don't really know what that means. They think they imagine you're just like, I don't know, meeting people at the bar and like having drinks and talking about bullshit. No, it's like take meetings with people who are also doing big things. Go visit spaces if you're looking at doing something, like a gym or any type of commercial business. Never know. You never know. One relationship could literally change your fucking life. I've had it happen to me before. Multiple times. PWRBLD literally might not be here if it wasn't for the people around me. So, we could dive into these stories down the road. But keep watching, but make sure you like this damn video. Subscribe to PWRBLD TV. All right, let's go. All right, guys, so we're going to talk about one of the big reasons that we're going and looking at so many spaces. I mean, in reality, this is probably the 4th or 5th location we're going to visit in the last 3, 4, 5 months. And big reason for that is it takes a lot to make a deal work. So you go and look at a space, say you love it, you love the area, you get an LOI with the landlord, meaning a letter of intent. So you have these initial terms that you're going to want to agree on, right? Your cost per square foot, term length of the lease, tenant allowance, among a few other things, security deposit amount, what type of guarantee, if they need a personal guarantee, if they don't. So anyway, there's a variety of these kind of key terms that you'll come to an agreement upon during the letter of intent phase. And even that takes a little while, right? Like there's going to be that back and forth between your side and the landlord side. And real story, about a month ago, we thought we were very, very close to actually getting to lease with a space, which is the top location on my list, actually, which we'll disclose at a later date. But yeah, we went back and forth probably 5-6 times. All the terms are looking good. We're literally down to like the last small detail of the LOI before we would get to the actual lease. And the space itself, something happening on the landlord's side where basically another space next to the space that I wanted became available. So now they had even a larger space available, and they basically were like, whoa, hang on. We're now taking the space I wanted off the market because now they could put it back on the market and list it as twice the amount of space available. So that opens up potential tenants to come in at a much larger level and possibly take the whole space now. So little things like that can happen where at the last minute the rug gets pulled out from under you, and now the space that you literally thought was going to work, it's not even available anymore. So even during that process, that's why I'm lining up visits to see new spaces, because you just never know. Until that final lease is signed, you never know. Here we are, PWRBLD 4. This was a prior gym, which is obviously always a huge benefit. Cuts down on startup costs tremendously. And obviously the layout, it was already a gym, so it makes it a little easier. Go in, set things up. Every space, even if it was a gym, there's obviously pretty large cost in rebranding. You know, you always got to usually update locker rooms. Tile is incredibly expensive, doesn't even make sense. But yeah, no, definitely a cool spot. Got the high ceilings, plenty of space. This space here is basically 30,000 square feet. So monster space. And it's just always good to have options on the table. I think one of the biggest things that people end up making the mistake of is like they kind of like get set on one space. They'll go, they look at a space, they're excited, and they get their heart set on that one space. Don't do that. Always give yourself options. You want to have multiple spaces on the table. So then that way you can also, while you're negotiating terms potentially for even just the LOI phase, that you can kind of leverage one versus another. You can see like, okay, well, this landlord's willing to give me this landlord's willing to give me this, maybe I can actually push the other one a little bit more. Now, obviously, depending on the location, those terms are going to vary, the size of the space, there's a variety of details that are going to make a difference in terms, but again, having options is always a good thing for your own negotiating power. So one of the other big benefits of obviously going and seeing new spaces is you also get to check out, you know, other areas, right? Sometimes a space might pop up that is in an area that, you know, maybe it's in the general area of where you're looking, but you're not super familiar, right? Like if you're looking in like a South Jersey, there's obviously a bunch of different towns and cities within South Jersey. So that was the other big benefit of like today, for instance, is we got a chance to check out Sewell, it's called. And to be honest, my first time there. I know a little bit about South Jersey, but I've never actually been to this town. And, you know, while you're at the space, you get to see the space. But afterwards or beforehand, you usually want to check out the general area, right? You want to see what the other businesses look like and how many other businesses there are, what the residential area looks like. Is there apartment buildings going up? So that way you know that there are people coming into that area, moving to that area, you know, which in this case, it sounds like it's a kind of it's already fairly populated, but it is up and coming. More residential is being built, which is good. More people, more potential gym members. So knowing the area demographics is incredibly important. And a lot of times, right, you can get that information from a Google search, but you want to go and see it with your own eyes. You want to kind of just get a vibe for the area. Very, very important. There's many times where I would go look at a space. This goes back to even like before my first gym. I was undecided on actually like the actual location, but I knew I wanted to be in the outskirts of the Philly area. And there was a few spots I went and looked at that immediately, just based on the surroundings, I knew wasn't right. So sometimes it could be a cool space, but sometimes the area just isn't going to make sense. So you won't know that until you actually go and visit. So yeah, that's kind of bringing this video to an end. Hopefully you guys got some information that could be helpful in your gym search, if that's what you're interested in doing. If you guys have any questions about looking for your potential gym location, maybe your first, your second, whatever it may be, happy to help. Hit us with a comment. I'll answer any of your questions that you have. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, helps us out a lot, and we will have more gym owner content to come. See you in the next one.